Tiene la palabra Máté, que nos habla sobre el concepto, hacia la transición de economía circular en Hungría.
Muchas gracias por la invitación. Disfrutar Sevilla en la primavera. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Okay. In English. First of all, I was thinking about, I don't know who invented the word circular economy. Does anyone know? Because I'm thinking that basically it's about metabolisms. It's a metabolism like we have in the nature. So for me, circular economy represents a metabolic approach. It comes from the fact that I used to, and I'm still working with the cradle-to-cradle design, which takes nature as an example. So for me, circular economy is an economy of metabolisms. But now I don't want to talk about the circular economy in general, but I want to focus on the situation in Hungary. I took this picture, which is a courtyard of a farmhouse in the countryside of Hungary. And when I was a kid, 30, 40 years ago, I remember these kind of courtyards. And actually, why I'm showing you this, because there was a circular economy in this courtyard. There was no waste in this courtyard. Everything was either a technical sphere or there was a biosphere. No waste. There was no public service of taking away the waste from or the garbage from in the countryside. Now it has changed. So let's see what the situation now. Ça marche? Oups, comment ça? C'est bloqué. Hey. ¿Qué pasa? Hay problema. Okay. Okay. Gracias. First of all, who are we, or who we are? We are the Foundation for Circular Economy, and I trust me, I didn't copy the Spanish name. We didn't know about that time. It was 3 years ago when we invented in Hungary the Foundation for Circular Economy. And it's a private foundation. It was established by myself and a friend of mine who used to work for the Ministry of Economy on climate issues and green economy. And previously, Peter Olajos was also an MEP in Brussels and dealing with green issues. So it was our idea that we thought that it's important to deal with circular economy in Hungary. The main objective is to promote circular economy in Hungary and to establish international cooperation and projects. And we have achieved that, but it's still a lot of things to do ahead of us. So we are involving various stakeholders from business, academia, research, education, and NGOs. And we also want to make advocacy towards decision makers, especially for government and local government, because there's little knowledge about circular economy, and I will talk about it later. Still, they think circular economy is waste management, so we have to change this notion, but it's not easy. Okay, what are the major steps so far we have achieved in this foundation? We have organized various events and seminars. Last year, we had a small seminar on cradle-to-cradle design and circular economy for SMEs. We have also made a 1-week seminar at the University of Design in Budapest, and these were young students, quite enthusiastic and making best examples of designing products and processes based on the circular economy. And end of last year, we have launched the Circular Club, which is our basic membership with like-minded managers, designers. So the members are mostly SMEs so far. But we want to attract larger companies. And we are also the official partner of IPOS, which is the Hungarian Association of Craftsmen Corporation, in a European project. It's an Erasmus Plus project promoting cradle-to-cradle design for SMEs. And this is, the last week I took this photo when they were presenting their cases at this organization's headquarters. And we have joined the ACR Plus last year. Okay, so these are our partners in Hungary and abroad. We have even partners in Dubai. We are the official partner of the Dubai Green Economy Partnership. But we also have contacts with Circle Economy and other organizations. And we also have an interesting cooperation with the Biomimicry Hungary. Okay, so I want to talk about Hungary. So here we are. We are a country of 10 million people. 93,000 square meter. We are a landlocked country in the middle of eastern central part of Europe and the eastern part of the European Union. So I want to show you a little bit of perspective to see where we are in terms of resources, and I'm not talking about natural resources as well. As you can see, Hungary is relatively poor in mineral resources. Currently, there's a mining of oil, gas, brown coal, lignite, bauxite, and manganese. But these are not important, I have to say. So most of the resources are imported to Hungary. And we have some reserves of copper, lead, iron, and uranium, but they are not mined yet. However, we are very rich in thermal water and geothermal energy. So those of you who have been in Budapest, I hope you have enjoyed some of those thermal baths in Hungary. So this is very important resource we have in Hungary. Let's give you some figures about the energy use in Hungary. As I mentioned, we are importing most of our energy. 65% is coming from abroad, but we're still producing 35%. These are the different energy types of Hungary's energies that they are using. And you can see most of the energy is still not renewable. Gas, oil, coal. We have nuclear, which is 18%. And actually, the government 2 years ago signed a deal with Russia to renew our existing nuclear power plant and increase the share of the nuclear energy, which is a very controversial issue, but I don't want to go into that. I give you an idea about the renewable energy sources we have. As you can see, the largest part comes from biomass, but we still have substantial biofuel and biogas. Solar is minimal, and also wind. Unfortunately, Hungary has followed a different path like Germany. We are going towards nuclear power plant and energy. So, and this shows in this map as well. Okay. Hay problema. No funciona. Okay, I can drink. Okay. Sorry. Disculpe. No. No, it doesn't. It's stuck here. No. I don't know the numbers by heart. I'm sorry. Okay. Gracias. Okay. I hope it will work. this shows a trend of some of the materials reuse. So we have seen the resources, but let's see what happens at the end of the use of these different materials. Regarding the agriculture and food and waste treatment, you can see the light blue is the recycling, and the orange one is the incineration, which is mostly biogas. Most of the agriculture, food, waste treatment actually goes for biogas, and the little one and the bottom one, it's about 30-something%. It's for recycling. This is for the industrial and other non-municipal solid waste treatment. The trend is not that obvious, so the recycling is still below 40%, and the incineration is small, but most of it, as you can see, the green one is landfill. Oh, sorry. Yeah. The construction and demolition waste treatment, I want to show this picture for you. Actually, it has improved substantially in the past 10 years. So it's roughly around 80% of the construction demolition waste treatment is recycled. But I would say it's mostly downcycling. So I'm a little bit skeptical about recycling, because most of the recycling is downcycling, and I prefer upcycling. And this shows the municipal solid waste treatment. The recycling at this category is around 31%. And as you can see, most of it still goes to the landfill. So we are kind of laggards in Europe. There was a previous chart which showed that in European comparison where we are. And this picture shows the material resource use per capita, and the red one is Hungary. We are a little bit below the European average, so it's not that bad, but as you can see, there are some other countries which have much higher material resource use. I don't want to go into the methodological explanation for that, but it's quite an interesting graphic. So this is the European comparison where we are in terms of municipal solid waste treatment. We are mostly in the laggard part. We are not the worst, but there's still a lot of room for maneuver for that. I don't want to show you more numbers, but I want to say something about the government's attitude. The government is not really pushing the circular economy. They are really just following the EU legislation, and they are reacting on that. And my impression is that they would prefer to have a derogation, but Hungary is not in the 5 countries which could have asked for derogation. But we don't see any initiatives by the government. So we are actually looking for grassroots initiatives, companies, collectivities, which are really interested in circular economy. And I'll show you some examples. The first one is Biofilter. It's a company, and they're doing used cooking oil and food waste collection for biogas and for biodiesel, and they have done a huge business in the past 20 years, and they have created a whole circle. It's a reverse logistics. They go to restaurants, they go to canteens, and they're collecting the food and the cooking oil, and they make it into biogas and biodiesel. So and it's working without any support. The other example is an EU-funded project called Zurich. It's about, I think it was already mentioned, it's about repairing and reusing electronic home devices. And this project was in Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Austria, and the northern of Italy. So they actually examined the participants in this project how repairing used electronic products could be repaired, remanufactured, and sold again. This graph shows, it's a complicated graph, I don't want to go into that, but because there are many issues, warranty issues, security issues. So they have really, those participants in this project made this graph which shows how this whole system could work. And the problem is, here is some pictures in Hungary. I don't know if you have some similar pictures in Spain or other countries, but this is what happens with used electronic devices. And we have a very funny Hungarian custom. It's called lomtalanítás, and in English it's, I can say, junk clearance. Every year, once in a year, it means that you can throw anything out of the, not throw, but take down to the street, your used electronic devices, your furniture, your clothes, your books, whatever you want. And this is how it shows. And this picture, I mean, serious. Was last week, this was not last week taken, but it happened last week when we had this program with the EPOS. Some people came from Germany, from Hamburg, and they were supposed to talk about cradle-to-cradle design, and they just confronted this situation. It really, some parts of Budapest looks like a war-torn region, and they are on the street, and people come. Previously, they could collect used items, and you can see there are some ladies looking for some stuff, but no, it's by the law it's no longer possible. So once you are on the street, it's the waste company which has the ownership on that. And you know where all these things go? To the landfill. Without any collection, without anything, it just go into the waste. I mean, my heart really hurts when I see that. So going back 2 minutes, thank you. So okay, so this, going back to the previous project, it was the reuse project, and actually this is their website where they are on the web as well, where you can buy this electronic stuff and you can see how they repair it. Repair Cafe was also mentioned, I guess, before, so we also have Repair Cafe in Hungary. It's a small initiative, they are struggling, but they are there. And I also show you a different, another example. It's a sewage treatment in a different way. It's an organic sewage treatment. It's a Hungarian company, and this is the normal sewage treatment. It's a physical and chemical treatment, but they have invented the biological treatment, and this is how their sewage treatment looks like in Budapest. It's a very interesting metabolic, biological circle economy example. So they're cleaning the water by using different kind of plants, and their roots actually take the different materials out of the sewage water. And it's a cubic, it's like the cubic Rubik cube, by the way, which is a Hungarian invention. So it functions like the Rubik cube, basically. And it's very interesting. I don't want to go into the details. This is how it looks like. It's like you are in a botanic garden. And this is the happy mayor of Budapest smelling the flowers in this place. And now this company is making an integrated urban water reuse and biological manufacturing facilities all over the world, in China, in Singapore. So they are also a member of our Circle Club. The last example is for product design. As I mentioned, I'm quite interested in cradle-to-cradle design. So this is a salt inhaler by a small design company, and they are looking for, they have made a salt inhaler based on cradle-to-cradle design. This is PLA. It's made of PLA, which is an organic and decomposing part where they keep the salt container. And this can throw away on a garbage and it decompose without any problem. So this is an example of, and these are their future plans. Okay, so I would summarize briefly. So I think circular economy would be ideal for Hungary. We are poor in resources, big potential in resource efficiency, labor and intensivity. Recycling is growing, but only due to incentives, and as I said, it's mostly downcycling. The good examples, what I showed, are only most sporadic and mostly private best practices and initiatives. The government is not really pushing this issue. There's a low awareness and consciousness about circular economy among businesses and consumers. This is what we want to change. And there's a high level of mistrust and skepticism about new business models. I mean, this is part of the Uber sharing economy. I mean, you hear a lot about this, so people are not that positive about it. And there's a significant opposition by mainstream companies interested in applying linear models. So we are facing this problem, and I don't know if you have this problem in other countries. And as I said, there's a lack of real government support and initiatives. And finally, in my opinion, what steps should be taken to help the transition? As I'm an economist, so I believe in economic incentives instead of regulations. So I think there should be higher taxes on resources and non-circular products. It's important. We need the appropriate legislation, so we'll see what will come out of this new EU package, and I think more recycling is not the solution. We have to change business and customer mindsets and habits. As you could see, this mindset of throwing away everything once in a year, awareness raising. We are thinking of certification, to have a circular product certification in Hungary, and we are working on that, so I think it would be an interesting example. And we are, I think, also encouraging cooperation and trust between companies and other stakeholders. So I believe in competition and collaboration, and for circular economy, you need collaboration. And also we have to convince companies which are applying their main business model or linear models to be interested in circular economy. So we don't have to take them as enemies, but rather we have to convince them and make them, show them what are the business case for them. And we need a leadership. In Hungary, we are the leaders, I think. Muchas gracias.